Thank you everyone for joining our Tech Tuesday meeting today. We have Albert Clark from Home Actions. Home Actions is a really cool email marketing campaign platform. We've got the exclusive email marketing service. It's a social media launch pad and so much more, you guys. I'm really excited to turn the floor over to Albert. So I'm just gonna give it to him.
Thanks, Rachel. You're going to approve me or to share?
Yep, you're good to share.
Okay. All right, new share, not new share. Let's move this here, slideshow.
I love when presenters use our actual colors. So way to go, friend. Suits proud.
All right. So anyway, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon. I'm sorry. My name's Albert Clark, and I'm the creator of Home Actions. And I've been in this side of the business, the email marketing side, for about 25 years total. 20 years ago, I built the first ever electronic newsletter for agents, and I've been stuck in this system ever since, this side, because everywhere we go, large brokers, small brokers, independent, big chains, the name brand brokerages, the agents are doing a terrible job of staying in touch. They know they need help, but they don't have any avenues. They don't have places to reach out to. So about 2 years ago, we became a preferred partner with Realty One Group, because they saw what we did for agents. We got them productive. We got them a database built. And when I mention database, we'll get into a couple slides now, but 9 out of 10 agents in this country don't have a clean, reliable database. They've got it in 5 different places, but not in one place. So that's what we do on day one for agents, is we build them a brand new database. So when we ask agents, why can't you do the best possible job of staying in touch? They come back to us and they say, I don't have a system. I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I don't have everything. So today we're going to show you the opportunity to get, quote, everything you need to do the best possible job of staying in touch and building that relationship capital. So these were the reasons why ROG came to us, and they said, now the backstory is ROG was going to actually build an email marketing platform. And every time they went out to new technology companies, they said, why don't you just call Home Actions? They have, the branded back-end system that will work just as very well as what you wanted. And that's what happened. They didn't have to go and build something. They just worked with us. So we have about 550 ROG agents on our platform. So let's get down to the $100. Again, Isaac, you came in with 5 out of 7 answers correct. Number 1 there. If I was in the room right now doing this demo, I would say to somebody, hey, raise your hand if you know how many people were on your website last night. Now, I imagine nobody would raise their hand, and nobody would know how to even go and find out where to get that kind of information. So the answer is about 5%, okay? People just don't wake up in the morning and run to your website. In 2020, according to NAR, what percentage of consumers reuse the same agent, repeat business rate on average, okay? Knowing that 91% of consumers said the agent did a great job, I gladly use them again, only 13% do. And when NAR went back and asked that Delta group, why didn't you use the same realtor? You know what the answers were. Never stayed in touch, sent me a happy anniversary card. We got divorced 2 years ago. Keeps asking about the kids. We don't have any kids. So we've known it for years. We know it's the Achilles heel for agents to do that kind of effective email marketing. So number 3 there, we did that 4. What percentage of clients who bought or sold with an agent can quickly remember the agent's name 2 years after a transaction? Now, NAR did a similar survey and asked consumers, who's your doctor? Like 95% immediately came up with the doctor's name. Then they asked about the realtor, and only 23% could come up with your name. You know what the next one was? Who's the guy that changes your oil? That was about 63%, okay? So they can do a better job remembering their oil man, but not the guy not the agent that helped them with their house 2 years ago. So we got a problem there. Number 5, always keep helping millennials, because they're always constantly looking for that elusive first home. 69% of them are still looking for their first home. Number 6, how many realtors does the average consumer hear from or get hit on, or whatever you want to call it? The answer is 6. 1 is going to get the call for the deal. The other 5 think the call is coming, but it's not, because one of those 6 did the best possible job or a better job than others at staying in touch. Number 7, we already went through this one. 1 out of 10 agents don't have a clean, reliable go-to database. They don't understand that 10% of all their email addresses are bad. Yet they keep throwing stuff out of Gmail and Outlook and everything else, trying to be an e-marketing engine, and that's not working, okay? So what we have is the ability to work with the agent to export contacts from all these systems and others. There isn't a system out there that we can't get contacts out of. Clean them up, run them through filters, put them into the system, and then they become what we call exclusive. No email addresses can only be used once in our service. So the first agent that puts in BettyJane@AOL.com, the consumer wins, if you will. They get that locked up. No other agent can attack another agent's database with their home actions. So then after the dust settles, putting the spreadsheet into the system, then we start firing off these every 2-week newsletters. Now, this is not once a month. This is not chicken pot pie recipes. This is not moving day tips, right? You've seen that over the years. Hard-hitting, impactful information. And we allow the agent to own the first 5 articles in every newsletter. So here you could see where the agent put in their listing and percocy. And, you know, we did that. All Megan does is call and say MLS ID number 1234. We slap it right in there. So we can put in your listings, your just solds, your open houses, your Angie's list, your roofer, your plumber, your market, your mortgage guy. Whatever you want to put in there, we'll do it for you. The second article is one of our most widely clicked articles. Rachel, everybody's got RPR out there, correct? Realtors Property Resource?
Yes, I believe so.
Does that sound familiar to anybody on the call? Realtors Property Resource, RPR?
Doesn't sound familiar to me.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I think most MLSs subscribe to it. NAR has built it. They've spent about $350 million on it. And we'll be able to find, if you do work with this, we'll be able to find out how to get it out of your local MLS. But if there's one thing you could, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so one thing I do want to say right now is that we are actually not a part of the National Association of Realtors. Is that something, because I noticed on a lot of your stuff, you've got under her name, it has realtor. Could you be able to replace that with something that says broker or agent?
Yeah, that'll be whatever the agent wants there. Okay, so you're saying your agents are not members in NAR?
No, we're not.
Okay, so you
We're not
probably
in our office.
you wouldn't be able to get RPR then. That's probably why you don't have it, not familiar with it. So we'll figure out somewhere else. But what consumers really want, but beyond anything, is they want to know what's sold down the street, when and for how much. Because everybody thinks their house is more valuable than the one that just sold there. So every 2 weeks, again, 7, 8, or 9 articles, we populate everything. The agent doesn't have to touch this. And Rachel, you know, most agents, given the choice to do nothing, will do nothing. But somebody's going to make them look good every 2 weeks, because these newsletters go out and then everything is actually tracked. So we know who opened it. We're going to tell you in 30 seconds who opened your newsletter and what articles they clicked on. Around here, our mantra is simply content drives the conversation, creates conversation starters. You're not going to see me promising you hot leads. Okay, we don't do that. We don't even mention that in our vocabulary. So the newsletter, again, we customize the graphics at the top of the newsletter. We can work with our Photoshop people. We'll build whatever you want. And then again, every 2 weeks, somebody's going to make you look good, because we're going to deliver a bunch of assets, if you will, that are going to inform consumers. We're going to portray you as a homeownership expert. Just watch what we have here. So on the left-hand side, you'll see Christie's newsletter that we did the other day. She's big on Instagram, so we're tracking all the Instagram content. Welcome to My Home Actions. There's an article that you could put in there that consumers will see the first time you enroll them. And then again, every 2 weeks, she's going to get the 4-day notice that says, hey, in 4 days, your newsletter is going out. Then we could talk about any kind of content she wants in there. Over on the right, you'll see where we're using her market reports. Okay, the market report that comes with your ROG website. So boom, 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 great content shipped out every 2 weeks. We tell you who got it and who's ready for probably a conversation. You could see another home that she sold on the right-hand side there in Auburn, okay? Now, as soon as somebody opens that up or clicks on the virtual tour, you know, obviously maybe they're not interested now because it's sold, but if it was a listing, we'd be able to tell you who clicked on the virtual tour. And then down on the right, we're going to show you our really cool neighborhood 360 report that covers 150 million street addresses. Stay tuned for that one shortly. Now, what we're really good at is writing articles that when open sends a signal back to the agent. Okay, so on this one, wouldn't an agent want to talk to 15 people that are trying to find down payment money? Now, we all know that you don't need 20% anymore for down payment, but we do know that people are interested in always trying to find new ways to get down payment money. So here you are sitting back and we send you a list of everybody that just opened up that article. That's what we call a conversation starter. And this one you guys can run with today. 7 out of 10 homeowning families that you know right now have no idea how much equity they have in their home. They know it's good, but they don't know how much. So until somebody gives them that magic number, and we don't want it to be Zillow or Realtor.com, they're not going to list their house. You're not going to get the call. So why don't you reach out to people that just clicked this article, clicked on that newspaper because we told them to learn about how much home equity they have, and you do a quick CMA for them. Again, you get that conversation going while they're engaging with the content. Now, back to your website. We know that you probably don't get a lot of hits on your website. If you do, you're maybe paying for traffic. That's okay. But what we're going to do on the right-hand side is to bring people from your newsletter to two principal parts of your website, meaning my property search, my listings about me, testimonials, whatever assets you have on your website. We'll bring people from the newsletter to there. We call it verified because I'm going to tell you who clicked off the newsletter and landed on your property search page. I'm going to tell you who clicked off and landed on your new listings page, okay? Or open houses this weekend or whatever you have, okay? So we're going to, because more people get your newsletter than landing on your website. We know that. So again, we're going to help you get more usage out of your website. This is what we were talking about before when it came to what's sold down the street. Simply, we'll try to find some other source for it, but the idea is that consumers want to know what's going on right now in real time. And they don't want to be busy calling all over town, finding realtors that are going to give them information that may be wrong or spending an hour on Zillow doing it. Now, when I mentioned before, go down about 4 or 5 pages on your website, your ROG website, and you'll see get a monthly market report. And I'll ask a lot of agents, I'll say, how many clients do you have set up for that? And they're like, I haven't done any. And I go, well, why? It's great. They're nice reports. The system works fine, delivers it every month. And they go, well, I don't have the zip codes of all my clients, prospects, and friends. Now, we know agents aren't good collecting email addresses. They sure aren't good collecting zip codes. So watch what we do. We create an article and we pre-populate the article with their reports, meaning when they click on their zip code, up will come their report. They don't have to wait for it. It's going to blow up right on their screen right there. And imagine this now, 30 seconds later, you know who just did this because that article is, we put a little tracer on that article, sending you a text and an email. Now that's pretty cool when you were able to, get in touch with somebody that 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, whatever it was really digging into the market because they're looking at all these reports, okay? Again, content drives conversation. Now, as I mentioned, these newsletters go out every 14 days. They can go out every 3 weeks or every month if you want, but the optimum time is every 2 weeks. We know that. In between your 2 newsletters, every 14 days, we have a feature called On Target, which allows you to work with us and we will design an email, if you will. It's called an e-blast and it goes out to everybody in your database or groups in your database, okay? Because we can segment your database by groups. And specific information can go out to a specific group. So if you've got, lower range condos versus high-end single families, we can work something there to make sure the right message gets out. So that's called On Target. There's no extra charge for any of this other content that we're talking about here. Now, agents are always trying to help, increase their public relations scores, right? And look good in the community. Well, we've got some new features here. This is called the Small Business Showcase, where we can build a dedicated article that covers a small business that the agent likes or knows of or wants to promote. Tommy Watson's got a bunch of newsletters going out in North Carolina, about 2,000, and he likes to promote veterans organizations that are helping, consumers. So Vets Hauling Junk, boom, he's got that. The other way to do this is with our actual page inside the promotional page, inside the newsletter, inside your newsletter, where we feature, 10, 15, 20, 25 small businesses. You just have to tell us you want to promote the Italian deli, the beauty salon, and the family hardware store. Anytime you could help small businesses recover from the pandemic, right, and help your Main Street, shop local, you know where I'm going? We're going to do this for you every 2 weeks if you want, or once a month. Over on the right, you'll see how some of these small businesses will show up. Now, Eddie with Exit Realty here, he loves our new Teacher of the Month program. We're simply asking parents to tell us if they got their children's teacher is doing an extraordinary job, needs some recognition. Eddie zaps them a $20 Starbucks card for being the best teacher of the month. Over on the right, you got Amy Lee, who wants to promote 4 or 5 businesses. She's in the animals and horses and all that stuff, which is fine. Again, anytime you can help small businesses recover in this day and age, you're going to score some PR points. Now, at the end of the day, what we really do is we feature you as a homeowner advocate, or we portray you as a homeowner advocate. On the left-hand side down the bottom there, does anybody on this call have a Fitbit watch?
I have an
Anybody
Apple
want
Watch.
to come off mute and talk about Fitbits?
I have an Apple Watch.
Yeah,
Does
but
that
Apple.
count?
Okay, well, they don't catch on fire, but the Fitbits do. The government just recalled 1.5 million of them. There was 500,000 more that they found. So these things overheat and actually catch on fire, okay? So I don't think anybody on the call knew that. And the reason that Gwen's clients, prospects, and friends know that is that she puts in our the megaphone there, and we pull live data out of the Consumer Product Safety Commission every morning in Washington for dangerous products that were recalled this morning. Not just last week, last month, we got those. But I want my clients to know that they might have potentially dangerous products in their house. That separates you from other agents that don't do any of this stuff. Up on the top right, are you tracking all the IRS scams hitting the senior citizens now? We are. This is prime season for that stuff. Down on the right and the bottom, credit card or Credit Karma. How many times have you asked your consumer, hey, do you know what your credit score is? Yeah, Credit Karma tells me it's about 740. But time you get down to a FICO, it's 705 or whatever. I'm using that as an example. So here we are educating the client base on what's going on in what we call home ownership, not necessarily real estate, home ownership. After every article is opened, we ask the consumer to vote on the article. How well do you like it? Now, everybody knows, and I'm sure, Rachel, you've told all the agents this, if you don't ask for referrals, you're probably not going to get them. Well, look at that 4th line down there. We could design these questions any way you want, but we suggest you leave that 4th one in there. And that's somebody saying, hey, I don't need any real estate help now, but I know somebody that does. Boom, boom, boom. You get all that in your text and emails. So you're constantly hearing from your database, right? Because we're going to tell you what's going on inside of your database. Now, again, one of our defining features is email exclusivity. Once an email goes into our system, it can't go into anybody else's system, okay? So one database can't attack another database. So again, we call that a first mover advantage. If you're into social media, we've got a whole social media game plan for you here. We've got over 1,400 articles now, all based on home ownership and real estate and all aspects of the above. So we can put your entire newsletter on social media, or you can put in 1 or 2 articles if you want. Or, use your sign up page. Wouldn't you want this in your inbox every 2 weeks? Grab any of these articles, take them to your newsletter, your blog, you own them. There's 1,400 articles here. It's a very comprehensive and fresh because we update all these articles all the time. Now, the cool part is after the newsletter launches, I'll be calling you as president of the company. I'm sorry, somebody have a question?
Yeah, it looks like Robin has a question.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Hey, so I do a lot of referral business with other agents across the country.
Right.
And sometimes my clients are moving somewhere temporarily, like North Carolina for military. And then once they're out of the military, they want to move back to Washington.
Right.
I don't necessarily I'm concerned like with the email address exclusivity. Like, what if someone was referred to me because they moved here, but the agent that referred them to me has their email in the system? That means I wouldn't be able to drip on our mutual client because the other broker had already claimed them. Is
Yeah,
there
but we
any ways
have,
around that?
yeah, that's a good question. And my response is, we only have about 4,500 agents in the country using this. The chances of that happening, I think, are pretty small. But if it does happen, if the consumer unsubscribes from the other newsletter, you'll automatically get it in your database. Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a problem. No one's ever brought that up from us. And of course, we work with a lot of people that do referrals all over the country. So I don't, we only have 2.5 million email addresses that are in our database now. Okay, there's lots of email addresses out there. I have no idea how many, but that would not be a problem. And if it was, we would certainly try to rectify the situation somehow.
So
So
essentially, they would just
another
have to be released from the one agent. The first agent would have to let them go, and then you could add them to yours if you were
Right.
both clients of Home Actions. So yeah, that makes
Correct.
sense.
And because we're going to tell you who you could not get in, by virtue of the fact where they came from, that agent that enrolled them. Okay.
So you know
we're going
who
to tell
the
you,
other person
with full transparency on who can get in and who can't get in. But I don't expect it to be a problem.
So for example, let's say Isaac and I farm the same area, and one of my clients is like a personal friend, and he's already been farming this area with a title company. So he's got all these email addresses. Can I see like this email address is already claimed by Isaac Schaefer, or is it this email
No,
address
we
is
can't. We
not?
can't give you their name of who that agent is. Just the fact that you can't get that one email address in the system.
Okay.
So that's why there's sort of a first mover advantage here. If you were talking about that other agent, probably not an ROG agent that is canvassing a neighborhood, if you work to get those email addresses for residents there, it's going to be to your advantage, right? Because if he's going to come in late and he's not going to get the same email addresses in his database. Again, that's all based on maybe what you're thinking is that, a lot of agents have this thing. They really don't. It's why an opportunity for you to embrace it and to make sure that you get every email address you possibly can in your database, not somebody else's. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I was just thinking, since if
Yeah, I mean, those are
Isaac
worst
did it
case
in my
scenarios,
office and I did it.
Pardon me?
I said, I was just thinking, Isaac and I have a lot of overlap as far as areas we're targeting, and we're in the same office. So just
Right.
wondering
Well,
if there was.
the widget I'm going to show you in a little bit is called the Neighborhood 360 widget. It works everywhere on every street in the country. And if you wanted, a definition of getting hyper local, wait till you see this. So this is one of our metric reports that shows you how many we sent out, how many opened at least once. Look at that box on the right-hand side there, 1,016 total opens. What I'm going to tell you is that half of your readers are going to open your newsletter multiple times. The only way they can do that is if they save your name and your subject line in their inbox. And as they go up and down their email 500 times a day like we do, impression, impression, impression. They don't throw these things out. They save them. I mean, we're so proud of that figure there. I don't think other marketing companies in the country actually track those kind of multiple opens, but we do, because we're going to show you everybody that opened everything, what articles they resonated well, who's clicking on the articles the most time, and then who are your frequent flyers, who opens up everything we send, okay? And if we were online, you'd be able to click on the blue email address and up would come all the articles that Jeff read since you put them in. So these guys are probably in here maybe a year and a half, right? Because we only send 26 newsletters a year. You could see some that are opening everything in certainly multiple times. So when I was talking about before, you were your question was about zip codes and how many different areas you could farm. How many times have you seen an ad in the local real estate section? I'm the neighborhood expert. Well, what does that mean? You're maybe a neighborhood expert in one subdivision or a part of town. But what we give you now is the ability to say you're a neighborhood expert everywhere in the country, because we have this tool called the Neighborhood 360 widget. It's an article in every newsletter. You can take it out if you want, but there's no good reason to take this thing out. This is cool. So we know that you can't compete with Zillow, but we can. So what we did was we built this widget, a very, very powerful computerized article in the newsletter, and it allows your readers to open up any address in the country, not email address, street address, up to 150 million of them. Now, Rachel, guess how many street addresses there are in the country? Rachel, you awake?
About 150 million.
Oh, boy, you know the neighborhood. You know everything. And you really do. I don't mean to be facetious here, because you know what's going on inside the door, outside the door, 150 million front doors everywhere in the country. There aren't any more than that. So Rachel, let's assume that you have 59 Hillock Woods as a listing. You're going to get a text and an email. Mrs. Jones just opened up your newsletter, clicked on the neighborhood 360, pulled a report on 59 Hillock Woods, and she wants it because she's thinking about buying the property. Now that's a lot of intel on one little click, right? We track all this for you. Over on the right, you'll see demographics on the neighborhood, single family, built in 1929, recent sales nearby. Now these aren't comps, these are just all sales. We're never going to get into comps because that's your business, okay? So recent sales nearby. Then we get into rent versus own, average tax bill. What's the average real estate property bill? Cost of living to move from anywhere in the country to this area. There's about 60 or 70 different components to that. We track it all for you. Income levels in the neighborhood. What about the schools? Where are my kids going to go to? Now, you can't tell the parents where their kids are going to go to. You just want them to click on these blue buttons here, and they'll find out where their children's going to go to school, okay? So we're keeping you out of all this trouble. Then we get into this neighborhood amenities section, right? Where are we going to go for happy hour tonight or fine dining? What stores are available in the area, right? If you have some special dietary needs, let's find the special stores. Let's see if they're there, because you know what? Everything I'm showing you here is within 3 or 4 miles of that listing. So if somebody's investigating one of your listings and then they go and pull this report up, you're going to know it, right? Because the only place they can get this report is from you. So if you have to live near a gymnasium, there's 6 of them here within 4 miles of that address. Where are you going to get your tattoos removed, your hair done, your toenails? What if you have to live near a Starbucks, right? Maybe you don't want to live 10 miles from a Starbucks. Maybe the Dunkin' Donuts too far, but that's okay. We're giving you the facts as they are, and you'll notice that everything has Yelp reviews, okay? They're all 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars. We got them all, okay? So then, when I told you before that we can actually use articles, you own the article spots, this is a cool way to really get across a 1-2 punch. Everything you wanted to know about Holly Drive is in the article that we just designed, the one on the top. And then we tell them to click on the newspaper for an exhaustive report on what's going on in that neighborhood, okay, and information about that specific property. That is pretty cool. When you can give somebody the backup when they're interested in looking at what's going on at Holly Drive, okay? We do all that for you. You don't have to. All you got to do is tell us you have an active listing at 1234 Main Street. And our staff behind me will go through this, build all these things, and send you a proof. So at the end of the day, we know what to send. We know when to send it. Anybody on the call here know the best time of day in order to send, you should be sending relationship emails out? Best time of day? Anybody have a clue?
11 a.m.
I'm gonna say 8 a.m.
No, used to be early, used to be 6:30 pre-pandemic. You know what it is now? 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock local time. And we're trying to figure out why. I mean, we're even amazed because we send 5 million a month. We know when they get open. And everything moved from early morning to mid-afternoon. Why? We're trying to come up on, you know, everybody in the industry is trying to come up with why, but for some
naps.
reason, that's what it
That's
is.
why.
Question, please?
Oh, it's because people like napping. That's
Is that what
I
it
was
is? They
saying.
take a nap at 2 o'clock and then wake up and start firing off emails. That could be. So we know how to create conversation starters for you, because as of now, you didn't hear me use the word hot leads, right? We don't, as I run the company, I tell all my employees, don't ever use the word hot leads. That's for those fly-by-night marketing companies that want you to send out a million emails to everybody. We're not going to let you do that, okay? We have relationships with Gmail. We have relationships with AOL, all the big ISPs, Comcast, Hotmail. When we send, 250,000 emails at any one time to Gmail, they know who we are. We get around their spam filters because we play by their rules. That's why we get open rates like 40, 45, and 50%. That's sometimes 3 times the industry average, okay? The industry average for junk mail going from a realtor to a consumer is about 14.5%. We're going to triple that for you, okay? Because we know how to do it. And we do it consistently, and we've been doing it for 20 years. So you're going to learn a lot from me on what's new in email marketing and how to really do this, because we know it's all a numbers game. And how to lock in exclusive value, because I would challenge you, would you really want your clients, prospects, and friends getting this from Keller Williams, Century 21, Coldwell Banker, EXP, whatever you have out there? You got them all, I'm sure. And I would hope the answer was, well, no, let me try this thing out. So what we have is what we call a subscription model. And we're going to get into this right now. And we're going to show you how you guys are so fortunate to have Rachel as a great negotiator, because here's what happened. When a couple of days ago, when she asked me about the pricing, I said, well, we have a $99 setup fee that gets you a new database, custom graphics, hand-holding, launching, everything you need, one-time $99. And she goes, our agents don't pay setup fees. And I go, well, all of our expenses up front with the agents, right? Once they get up and running, there's not a lot of expense on this. So through her negotiating skills, we got rid of that $99. So that's wiped off. That's all taken care of. So what we're asking you to do is to think about subscribing to our service, $60 per month for as many months as you want. Cancel at any time, no contracts, get your money back in the first month, get your database back anytime, because we don't own your database, you do. We just nurture it. And then that $60 is recurring every month for as many as you want. At the end of the first month, we're going to have 2 newsletters on the street for you, right? Because we do it every 2 weeks. You're going to say to yourself, I only found 25 email addresses, get me out of here. Okay, you shouldn't have purchased this. Here's your money, thanks, bye. The other way you can do it is just stay at $60 a month for as many months as you want, or you can start at the $165 quarterly. It's really an annual price, but we let you break it down into 4 payments. So $165 is $330 is $660 for the year on the quarterly plan. The monthly plan, and the same level of service, nothing changes. It's just on how you pay for it. The other plan is $720. 60 times 12 is $720. So we have what we believe is an affordable, guaranteed way to build relationship capital, to lock up your database so no one else can grab it with this kind of quality info. And then, as I said, this is my 4th ROG Zoom today. As I said in the other ones, I really want you to do 2 more deals. So somebody's going to ask a question in 5 minutes. Al, what's the ROI on this? How many houses am I going to sell? And I honestly tell you. I just want you to do 2 more deals than you would not have done if you didn't use our system, okay? Because you're going to be hanging around people that can. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Question, please.
Yeah. Hey, Albert. I was just wondering if we have a bunch of our agents sign up, like how many of us would have to sign up to maybe get a lower price?
Is that Rachel talking? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Rachel.
Yeah, you're asking about. All right. Let me see. How many are on the call now? Do you have any idea?
We got about 5 on the call right now, but we have about 50 agents that will be seeing this. So I was just wondering.
Yeah. If I can get 10 agents to try this out, we'll take the 60 down to 50. Okay, and that saves them $10 more a month times 12. That's another 120. So they're saving about $300 on this. So what we can do, Rachel, is somehow, have them get back to you to say, I want to try this out. I want to try this out. If only 2 or 3 do it, I can't let it go for $50 a month. Okay, so.
Okay, thank you.
So your strike price, if you will, is $50 per month. If we can get the agents that missed this call to do a one-on-one with me or something like that, I'll say, hey, are you interested at the 50? and we put them on a list, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Thank you.
All right, so you're gonna send this out to them. So if anybody wants to get going now, here's my number. You can give me a call and we can get you, start building your database tonight. I'm in Pennsylvania, so I'm 3 hours ahead of you. But we can get your database built today before everybody else finds out about this, okay? And so we don't have to worry about putting in the chat box. You can just give me a call or a text and say I'm interested. And again, in the next hour, we could start building your database. Okay, that's how fast we work around here. Any other questions, please, about the format, the newsletters that go out, anything else that you wanted to discuss or have a question about?
Did Isaac get all of the answers right compared to the rest of us?
Say that again, please.
Oh, I was just making a joke. I said, did Isaac get all the answers right compared to the rest of us that tried to answer?
I see what you're saying. Okay. So any questions about, so what happens is once you subscribe, every 2 weeks, you're going to get what we call a 4-day email. And that says, hey, in 4 days, your newsletter is going out. And do you want us to put in a listing of just sold, a testimonial, plumber, roofer, contractor, mortgage loan professor, whatever, professional, whatever you want, we'll do that for you. So it's not like we're not going to be talking a couple times a month, getting this newsletter optimized for the way you want it. And we're going to develop some custom graphics for you at the top, whatever you want. We're going to proof it all, make sure it's your best foot forward. And then you just sit back and build this allegiance with your database, because I don't know of any other system that does it this way in the industry. If there was a better system, we'd either buy it or build it, and we're not buying or building. We've got the platform right here. And of course, that's why ROG liked us, because what we do for agents is exactly what everybody knows needs to be done. It's just nobody's doing it. Rachel, any other questions?
I think that was all for me, but if anybody else has some other questions, now's the time to ask.
No, that was great. Thank you for your time. And yeah, it looks like an awesome tool.
All right, Isaac, you're going to also send me you got my number there, right? You're going to send me your address for the $100 card.
Sounds good. And I'll pay it forward, and we can all go have a happy hour sometime. I'll send the invite out, and we'll just run the card dry. No, I'm doing it. We'll do a happy hour sometime soon, and I'll invite everybody, and drinks are on me until the card's gone.
Now, I don't think $100 goes that far in Arizona, does it?
Hey, we're in Washington.
We're actually, yeah, we're
right.
in Washington.
Look, I do so many of these ROG things. I somehow forget I'm in Pennsylvania.
No worries.
All right, Isaac, I'm glad you like it. You're thinking about subscribing, Isaac?
Definitely.
Yeah, all right. Well, you can give me a call later on. We can get you, how big's your database? You have any idea?
Huge. No, I'm just kidding. It's about 270 contacts.
All right, bingo. That's nice. The average agent using our program has about 390. So you're in the ballpark.
I'm below average. That's okay.
Yeah, but but now every time you see an email address, Isaac, you got something to do with it, right?
Exactly.
That's the cool part here. You got something to do with it rather than just throw it in your Outlook or your. Are you guys using Sync CRMs?
We are, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can export out of Sync, and at the end of March, first week in April, I'm sorry, we're up on the Zapier thing, which will allow you to integrate with any of your CRMs. So as a lead gets created in Sync, it automatically goes into your home actions and vice versa. Okay, so you have one database that's being nurtured by home actions, and then you have the Sync, your same data in Sync, and you're nurturing those relationships there. Okay, so that's called Zapier, and it's a pretty cool way to integrate a bunch of databases. Keeps them in sync all the time. Okay, next question, please. Anybody else? No? All right. So if you want to watch this again, Rachel's going to send it to everybody. And then hopefully we can get 10 people to arrive at that $50 strike price. And Isaac, you're in at 50 right now is what I'm telling you, because you're the first one to speak up. But and then we will offer it to anybody else that wants it. And Rachel, I'm around most of all day tomorrow and the next day, Thursday. But the pricing does end at the end of the month. We're not doing any discounting in April. So if you've got questions, I'm here 18 hours a day helping agents. Okay, well, listen, thank you
Awesome.
again very much for taking time out of your busy day. And Isaac, give me a call. Anybody else? You got my number. I'll put it up on the screen there one last time. Excuse me. And there it is, 570-510-3507.
Awesome.
Rachel,
Well,
Alrighty,
thank
thank
you so
you.
much, Albert, for joining us today. I also want to give a little special thank you to Christy Hall, because she is the one that suggested this meeting for us. And I want to remind you guys, if you ever have a suggestion for Tech Tuesday, I'm always here and happy to take those suggestions. But a really big thank you to Albert for showing us this awesome platform. And I can't wait to see how you guys utilize it. So thanks everybody for joining Tech Tuesday, and we will see you next week.
Yeah. All right. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.